Alright. How's it going, mga ka-VIP? It's your boy Jag. Once again, back at it with another vlog. As you can see behind me, we got some of these car care products. Because today we are going to be focusing on detailing the vehicle, or particularly the exterior of the vehicle, since yesterday we just got it buffed out and polished. So we got the exterior prep for these chemicals, and to ensure that we protect the exterior paint of the vehicle for as long as we can. Because as you do realize, dito sa Pilipinas, we do have some very nasty heat, and some of those harmful UV rays can definitely deteriorate your paint over time if it's not properly protected. So with that being said, I'll go over detail with some of these products in a little bit after this intro. Alright. Welcome back, mga VIP. And right now, we are going to be showing you the details, or the tools, I should say, we are going to be using for this car wash and detailing vlog. So first off, we have this. Bang! Now this is a gun, pressure washer gun to be exact. We're going to be using this to help speed up the process, because honestly, washing a vehicle can be a bit of work. Can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. You don't have the right tools, so we gotta make sure we have the proper tools. So we have this gun, pressure washer gun. The machine's over there on the side. I'm not gonna show it to you. And then of course we have the shampoo, car shampoo. Just trying this out, so I'm looking to see what other brands are like. So far this one's been alright. We got a wax applicator here. A couple of these actually we're gonna be using today. And then of course the drying cloth, which is, this one's huge. It's a big ass drying cloth. And we have a few of these extra ones as well. That's for after. And of course, you gotta have your wash mitts and your microfiber towel included. See that? Make sure this is all brand new. Of course, it's color coordinated for some of the products that we're going to be using today. I want to make sure that I get enough. And some of the other things we're going to be showcasing in a little bit and go into detail a little bit more. And let's get into that right about now. Alright, so first things first, of course, when you first wash your car, you want to make sure that you get the wheels first, because it is usually the dirtiest part of the whole vehicle, since it tends to collect the most dust along with brake dust and road grime and debris. And of course, it's the dirtiest part of the vehicle, so you want to make sure na linisin nyo muna yan bago kayo maglikpit or maglinis ng body ng kotse. And as you can see, I got 17-inch wheels on mine, but you know, I gotta keep them clean though. Alright, after you wash the vehicle, the next product we are going to be using is the clay bar, which is this piece of clay bar right here, and this Chemical Guys synthetic quick detailer. Now this is going to serve as a lubricant. Now what this clay bar does is it helps clean the surface of the paint by removing stuck dirt and contaminants that are embedded onto the paint, such as like overspray, pollen, tree sap, etc. So sometimes these things are not visible to the naked eye, while of course, like I said, this quick detailer being used with this clay bar, you help lubricate the clay bar throughout the whole process. So you spray a little bit of this and then you rub some of that clay bar to pretty much pull out all of that contaminants that are stuck in the paint of the vehicle. And pagkatapos nun, what this does is, of course, kung napapansin nyo minsan pag kinakapan nyo yung pintura, yung medyo may magaspang na area. Now this clay bar will definitely remove all those contaminants and make the texture of the car, yung pakiramdam niya, make it a little bit smoother. And that way we want to make sure that all the contaminants are off to properly ensure the bonding on the next set of chemicals that we are going to be using to protecting this paint. So that is it. Alright, so just another thing I forgot to mention regarding the clay bar. When using it, you only need about this much, so maybe only a third of this whole bar right here, or maybe a little bit, maybe half. What I like to do is use a 3-finger rule to kind of just use it and it's applied. And of course, one important thing to do is if you do end up dropping a piece of this clay bar, whatever is already exposed or whatever you're applying onto the car, please do not put it back onto the car. You're going to end up messing it, because what's going to happen is pag nalaglag to, let's say you drop it onto the floor, it's going to pick up micro rocks or micro debris that's going to get stuck onto the clay. And if you do end up using it and applying it onto the paint, you're going to be creating micro scratches throughout the paint or the panel that you are working on. So one important tip is, if you do drop the clay, do not use it again. Throw that away. It is no bueno, no good. So just go ahead and use off another piece of the clay, since it is fairly cheap. Madali naman bumili nito. It's fairly cheap, and yeah, don't risk it. Don't risk it. I'm telling you right now. So you better listen. Alright, so now that we've got the car wash and the clay bar throughout the whole vehicle out of the way, we can go ahead and begin with our 3-step protection process. So for the first step, we are going to be using this Chemical Guys Hydro Slicks Ceramic Coating Hyperwax. Now this is a SiO2 infused technology with ceramic suspension gel, which is what's inside it. It's like a gel-like material. I don't know if you can see it. It's still sealed, so I haven't used it because I just got the car repainted and I wanted to wait until I got it buffed out and polished before I start applying this again, or before I start applying, I should say. Now what this does, of course, is it adds the first layer of protection, of durable or long-lasting protection, along with some hydrophobic properties to help propel water easier with insane water-beating action, and also helps avoid water spots clinging onto the paint. So ito yung pinakaunang lalagay natin sa paint after natin i-clay and i-wash yung kotse, to give it the proper protection that it needs on the first layer. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be applying about 4 dots of this product onto the applicator pad, and use a crosshatch pattern. What that is you use like a up, down, left and right motion, like a hashtag pretty much, throughout the whole panel. So that way you want to make sure that you do it properly by applying only this product onto a section of the panel. So this product dries up or flashes really quick. So in about a minute or two, this product is already flashed and is ready to be easily buffed out with a microfiber towel. So madali lang siya. Pagkatapos ng minute or 2 minutes, pwede mo na siyang punasan kagad at tanggalin. So for me personally, what I will go ahead and do is I will apply this coat twice, just so I can ensure proper coverage throughout the whole vehicle. Now this is also safe to use throughout the glass, headlights, and your wheels for that extra layer of protection. That way when you do wash your car the next time, it is a little bit easier to clean it up and get all of the dirt and debris that's stuck onto the paint. And towels that we do use to buff it all out. Unfortunately, the microfiber towel and this applicator pad, I should say, will have to be discarded and thrown away due to this product solidifying over time after drying. So tumitigas siya, since it is a suspension gel. And you know what I would do is I would try to go ahead and wash them right after I apply this product and buff it all out. But if that doesn't work, like I said, we still have to throw it away. I do apologize. There's somebody singing in the background. I don't know who the hell it is. Probably my neighbors. But yeah, overall, I've seen this product online and I've noticed many great reviews about it, so I'm excited to try it out. And this will be our first layer of protection for the VIP accent. Yeah. Alright, now that we got the Hydro Slick ceramic coating hyper wax out of the way, the next step or the next chemical we're going to be using is this right here, the Extreme Top Coat Sealant, 3 times Carnauba from the chemical guys. As you can see, this bottle is still sealed since I haven't been able to use it since I did get the car repainted. So of course, just a gentle reminder, you want to make sure that you shake your products well right before you use them. And what this does is this right here, this adds a second layer of long-lasting protection on top of the paint that gives you and your car more longevity, more shine, and more water beading effect. And of course, you can never have too many of those. And this helps make sure that contaminants such as rail dust, bird droppings, stubborn dirt, pollen from trees, the tree sap, to stick and cling onto the paint. So, with this extra layer of protection, mas mahihirapan kumapit yung mga dumi sa pintura mo. Okay, and as usual, we will be also using a 4-dot method in applying this onto the applicator pad. And of course, common sense, we're going to be using a different applicator pad because in my opinion it is not ideal to mix and match the chemicals. So don't cheap out. If you're going to spend good quality money on good quality products, make sure you have enough tools as well. You don't want to be using the same applicator pad that you used on another chemical or another product, because that's just going to cross-contaminate and it's just not good. So this product, it does take a little bit longer to flash and dry up. So after applying this onto a panel, it usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes to make sure that it has properly layered onto the ceramic coating hyper wax that we first put on there, and to make sure that it has bonded securely onto the paint as well. So as usual, we will be using a separate microfiber as well to buff out any of the excess products that this thing is going to be leaving behind, and just to make sure that everything comes out with a better outcome. And what happens is, if you happen to park under a light post, where birds like to hang out and drop blessings on your newly washed cars, or parked under a tree where you come back and then of course there's pollen and tree sap stuck onto the paint. Now with these first 2 layers of protection, now those contaminants will easily wash off with very minimal effort. So you will save yourself a lot of time later on during that process of washing your car all over again if you do end up getting a bunch of crap on it. So it's always good to have second layer of protection. Alright, now on to the next one. Alright, now for the third step, we are going to be using Carnauba wax or Carnauba products. Now we have 2 of them. Now this one is Peach 53 Black Pro. Now this one is a Carnauba wax, but it is a paste wax, as you can see here. Alright, now what this does, of course, the wax, as we all know, gives your paint that enhanced gloss and makes it super shiny by giving it that natural warm glow. So the type of shine, that breaks necks. You feel me? Nakabali ng leg. So now this wax is going to add another thin layer of protection over the paint. Of course, we can never have enough of that. And for this specific wax, the Peach 53 Black Pro, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be rubbing a microfiber applicator. Just do a quick sample like that until it generates heat and sticks a thin layer onto the microfiber applicator. And of course, you're only going to be using thin coats and applying it onto the vehicle. Now this takes about the same time to flash and heal like the top coat sealant, about 10 to 15 minutes. So you want to make sure you do a crosshatch pattern and do a proper coverage of the whole vehicle. And it never hurts to apply a coat or 2 if needed. And of course, by allowing the wax to cure for about 10 to 15 minutes before buffing it out with a microfiber towel And you know what you can do is apply it to a few panels. So we're gonna start off with the half of the hood, front panel, maybe the door and the rear door as well. And after that, you can just go back to this. And, you know, it takes about 10 minutes by the time you get to the back rear door. And then you can go ahead and just go back to the hood, start buffing that out, and work your way towards the back, letting it, you know, giving it some ample time to help cure, flash or haze out. With, of course, a different microfiber towel. Again, I cannot point that out more directly. Now, for every product that you use, you want to make sure that you use a different microfiber towel. It's just a good habit to start off with. And of course, like I said, you can always apply 2 thin coats of this to make sure that we get the deep warm gloss and a beautiful shine, along with another layer of long lasting protection. And especially with this paint job that I got here, with this pearl white paint job, we want to make sure that we definitely enhance the color and make that pearl pop out even more. And of course, you know, with proper maintenance, any wax, sealant, or coating in general could last you, you know, a few months. Well, they say it's like up to a year, 6 months or up to a year. But realistically speaking, with the scorching heat that we got here in the Philippines, I give it about maybe 6 months. And for the wax, siguro ito mga once a month or once every 2 months with proper maintenance, of course, before you go ahead and need to reapply this. And as a good alternative, what I can do is, because this can get a little bit tedious when applying, medyo mas matrabaho siya, this other product that we have here, the Butter Wet Wax Deep Wet Shine. Now this is Carnauba wax as well, but this is a cream wax. This is a liquid based wax which we can use and apply, same thing, on the vehicle, but this takes a little bit quicker to flash or haze up. Now this, since it's liquid, you can go ahead and just apply it. You know, even if the car is wet, you can go ahead and apply it. But what you can do is, like I said, just apply it, wait for a minute or two, and you can go ahead and just buff it off with a microfiber towel. It's really easy. It doesn't put up as much of a fight as the paste wax would. But that only happens, honestly, kung maglalagay kayo ng coat and it ends up being thick. So you want to make sure that you only put thin layers of coat of wax, whether it be paste wax or butter wax, because you really only need a small application of product to stick onto your vehicle to get proper coverage. And of course, as a good method, it's always good to use either linear motion or you can cross hatch pattern. You go up and down to ensure proper coverage onto the vehicle. Now this I can use maybe once every 2 weeks or once every month. Actually, you know, I heard this lasts a little bit longer than paste wax because it is liquid. It does have synthetic polymers on it, onto the liquid wax. And you know, from what I hear, it lasts a little bit longer than paste wax. So this is a quick go-to wax if you just want to give your car that deep wet shine, that wet look real quick. And for me, this is a good, you know, average wax. I've used it on another car before, that's why it's no longer sealed. But let's say we've got a show or a meet that we're going to, I'll definitely put in the time and effort. Let's go ahead and use one of these Carnauba waxes. You know, the Peach 53, just to give it that better shine. In my opinion, this one gives probably will give off a better, deeper shine. But as for a, you know, every weekend or every other weekend, this will be a good alternative as well. All right. So that concludes the 3 steps that we are going to be using throughout this paint protection. Like I said, the first one is this, the Hydro-Sic ceramic coating hyper wax. All right. Next one is this Extreme Top Coat Sealant with 3 times Carnauba. And last but not the least, we have the waxes, Peach 53 Black Pearl and Butter Wet Wax. And you know, with the 3 layers of protection that I've applied and layered onto the vehicle, I can be relieved in knowing that, you know, all those protection underneath, all those 3 layers, ceramic coating hyper wax, a top coat sealant, and these waxes should last up to a year. But because realistically speaking, I'm giving it about 6 months before I would have to reapply the first 2 at least, you know, ceramic coating, tsaka yung top coat sealant. So I'll give it another 6 months or so after applying it today before reapplying these 2 again. And then as for the wax, I can always just do that every month or every other month to keep the paint protected and give it that wet look, and you know, just end up making it look the way it's supposed to by taking care of the paint with proper maintenance. Alright, now that we've covered all 3 steps, another thing that I would suggest is, remember this thing? We used it in the beginning for the clay bar as a glue. Now this is also used as a quick detailer. What that means is at the end of the wax or whatever the last layer of protection that you put on the car, you can utilize this product and use it to remove any remaining products that are left over or that we may have missed during the whole buffing process. Yung pagtatanggal natin ng mga chemicals na natira, like ceramic coating, top coat sealant, or the paste, or the liquid wax, whatever we may have used that might have been left over there. And some of those things tends to leave a lot of residue, yung mga maliliit na natitira na residue. And what this does is it all removes that any leftover dust or fingerprints that you might have left on a vehicle, and just gives it that extra little bit of gloss. And next we also have this, which is all from Chemical Guys. It's called VRP, which is for vinyl, rubber, and plastic protectant. So it just gives it that high, the super shine, a little bit of UV protection from the harmful UV rays. And what this is used is pretty much, self-explanatory. Gamitin mo siya if you have any vinyl, rubber, or plastic trims on the vehicle for both exterior and inside of the vehicle. And I've used this already. This product works great, and it keeps it protected from harmful UV rays and elements. So it gives it an OEM shine, not too shiny, with a nice gloss to it. But yeah, this is what I usually use for my tires, for my interior trim pieces, and all the little black pieces that are still left over on the car, like on the side mirrors, the grill, anything you can think of that's black. This also rejuvenates some of the black faded trims you may have on the vehicle. So this is a good handy product to use. As you can see, medyo ginabi na tayo. It took a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I don't know if the camera can pick it up. The pearl definitely pops out now. Alright guys, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment if you have any questions or thoughts, and if you enjoyed watching this video or learned anything throughout this whole process, please give it a like or a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more KDM contents like this. And as usual, remember, treat yourself, don't cheat yourself. Peace.